بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله لا يبلغ منحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماؤه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون الذي لا يدركه بعد الحمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن الذي ليس لصفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت معدود ولا أجل ممدود فترى الخلائق بقدرته ونشر الرياح برحمته ووتد بالصخور ميادان أرضه والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وحبيب قلوبنا سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين آمين يا رب العالمين. فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
إن الحسين مصباح الهدى والسفينة النجاة صدق رسول الله الكريم صلوات محمد
اللهم صل على محمد نعرہ تکبیر اللہ اکبر نعرہ تکبیر اللہ اکبر نعرہ رسالت یا رسول اللہ نعرہ رسالت یا رسول اللہ نعرہ حیدری یا علی نعرہ حیدری یا علی محمد وعلى محمد بلند صلوات اللہ صلی
Respected elders, brothers, sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace, mercy and blessings of Allah the Almighty be upon and amongst all of you. The topic continues an analysis of the hadith of the Holy Prophet of Islam. The topic remains an analysis of the hadith of the Holy Prophet in which he said to his ummah, O people, indeed without a doubt that Hussein is the source of guidance, Hussein is the lantern of hidayah, and if you want to gain hidayah then come to the door of Hussein.
MashaAllah.
If you want to be saved from fitna, the sea of fitna, then board the ship of Hussein.
MashaAllah.
For Ahlul Bayt are that board, that ark,
MashaAllah,
which takes to rescue, which rescues from the sea of drowning into fitna, into zalala, into corruption, into wrong and false aqa'id that do not belong to us as followers of Ahlul Bayt.
MashaAllah.
Or if we want to be saved from false and batil aqa'id, then we are to board the ship of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein.
MashaAllah.
Hidayah, since Imam Hussein is the lantern of guidance, hidayah is of many types. Hidayat or tabligh or whatever word you may want to use is of three types. This is a discussion which the ulama, they teach this in the Hawza in a subject which is known as principles of jurisprudence, or in Arabic ilm usul fiqh. It is taught that hujjah, imam is hujjah. In other words, what an imam does is an authority for us. And that is of three types. One is qawl al-ma'soom, the saying of the ma'soom. Two is fi'l al-ma'soom, that is the action of the ma'soom, of the infallible leader, the imam. And three, taqreerihi, his silent approval. Taqreer here doesn't mean taqreer like we say in Urdu. Taqreer here in the Arabic means remaining silent, not saying anything. Let me explain. For example, the Holy Prophet or one of the Imams of Ahlul Bayt say something. This is known as qawl, that they have uttered something, a speech, hadith. Though hadith is not exactly qawl, but qawl is when the Holy Imam says, do this and do not do this. This becomes hujjah. This becomes authority, that the Imam has instructed us. This is one way of hidayah, one way of tabligh. The second way of hidayah and tabligh is the imam does something. For example, the imam does wudu in a specific way. For us it is hujjah. Imam does wudu the way of mazhab Ja'fari. So that wudu is hujjah for us. Though we have ayah of Quran which speaks about wudu. But then Imam, the Ma'soom, will explain what is the right way of making wudu according to the fiqh of Ja'far. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. And in the same way, if something is happening and the Imam is mawjood, the Imam is present, the Imam remains silent, it goes to show the Imam is happy with such an action. Or otherwise, the Imam would stop that action. Because it is the duty of a guide, of a hadi, of an Imam, that if in his presence someone is committing haram, or something is being done which is against the Sharia, Imam Ma'soom will get up and stop such an action from taking place. So there are three types of guidance, or three types of authorities over us in Islam. Ulama say it is qawl, it is the fi'l, the saying of the Imam, the action of the Imam, and the silent or tacit approval of the Imam. In other words, when the Imam is silent, the Imam approves of such a thing. I give an example about what the Imams have said. All of the customs of the Holy Prophet, all of the traditions of the Holy Prophet, where if the Holy Prophet is instructing something, that is to be implemented in our life. For example, the Holy Prophet may give guidance to his friends, his companions. If you drink water, you hold with your right hand. You drink the whole glass, but you sip 3 times. You take 3 gaps. That you do not take the whole glass, sip the whole glass of water in one go. Have breaks. This is qawl. This is what the Holy Prophet has said to us directly. This is a form of guidance. The Holy Prophet has given instructions on dressing. For example, what to dress, how not to dress, what clothes are compatible with the Islamic Sharia. Women cannot dress like men. Men cannot dress like women. Men should dress like men, and women should dress like women. These are clear instructions in the rawayat, the narrations of Ahlul Bayt. In other words, these come under the term qawl, what the Holy Prophet has said, what the Imams have said. So these are clear authority for us. No one can go against such a saying. No one can come and challenge such a saying. We find that the holy Imams would say that we instruct our children to pray 3 years before the age of bulugh, before they reach the age of puberty. Imam Baqir says, we teach our children to pray 3 years before the age of puberty, the age of bulugh, when the child becomes baligh. And then he says, O Shia, Ya Shia, O my Shia, you too instruct your children to pray before they reach the age of bulugh, before they become baligh. This is hukm of the Imam. Now not every hukm is, of course, it's not wajib. Wajib is when a child becomes baligh. It is not wajib before that. But this is istihbab, mustahab, because it is the recommendation of the Imam. Sallu ala Muhammad wa There are certain guidelines which, if you look in the books of hadith, they have been communicated down to us. For example, you go in to make wudu in the bathroom, this is the dua of wudu. You look in the mirror, this is a dua of looking in the mirror. You enter the toilet, you go in the bathroom, you are to cover your head. And today science has proven many of these facts. For example, many years back they wouldn't know why someone should cover the head with a cap when they enter the toilet. They may not understand the philosophy behind it. But today science has proved and authenticated this. Why? Because the skin, the hair, grows out of skin pores. And the pores are open way into the skin. And the bacteria and germs can enter through the skin pores that exist in the head. Imams of the Ahlul Bayt said 1,400 years ago, when you go in the bathroom, try to cover your head with something. And today it's the practice of many ulama and scholars when you see them. They would cover their head before they would go into the bathroom. Some ulama would go into the bathroom just to make wudu. Old ulama. But they would forget the cap. They would come back, go up the stairs, put on the cap, then go down the stairs and go in the wudu. Especially in countries like Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, where the bathroom is outside the house. Today the toilet is inside. But in the olden days, if you visit Iran, Iraq, many of the homes, the toilet is outside the house. Especially in old cities, in Qum. Many homes, the olden homes in the old city of Qum, the toilet is outside. But ulama stressed on such importance on many of the hadiths of the Ahlul Bayt. The Imams of Ahlul Bayt made this hujjah, that if we say something, it is an authority. It becomes part of the religion. It is said that there's a book of Shaykh al-Sudduq, Sawab al-A'mal wa Aqab al-A'mal. In this book, Shaykh al-Sudduq has collected all of the narrations which give sawab for doing such and such action, and then there is azab for doing such and such action. In other words, he has divided the book. The first part of the book is doing such and such action and the reward for it, doing such and such action and the punishment for it. But this is the second part of the book. There's a hadith in it from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq Again, Imam says, this is the qawl of the Imam. Sometimes the Imam gives clear instructions. The Imam Imam Sadiq instructs his companion Abu Harun. He says, Ya Aba Harun, instruct your family and children that after every Salat al-Wajib, after every Wajib prayer, they must do tasbih of my mother Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha. Imam Sadiq is instructing. Because just like you pray the Salat al-Wajib, after every Salat al-Wajib, every obligatory and Wajib namaz prayer, instruct your people that you do not forget the tasbih of Fatima al-Zahra. And then Imam doesn't stop. Imam elaborates further. He says, Wallah, the tasbih of Fatima al-Zahra after every Wajib prayer is more beloved to me, Ja'far al-Sadiq, than 1,000 rak'at of namaz mustahab. Allahu Akbar. Imam says, after every Salat al-Wajib, tasbih of Fatima al-Zahra is more beloved to me than 1,000 rak'at of namaz mustahab, recommended prayer. This is in Kitabul Sawab al-A'mal wa Aqab al-A'mal by Shaykh al-Sudduq. Imam gives clear instructions. And he says that for such an act, there is reward with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. And then on the other hand, with the same way, communication, the qawl, because we are discussing saying of the Imam. Saying is high guidance. Imam did tabligh by saying and uttering words. Then Imam says, but then there is azab. Azab is for those who do not recognize the haqq of us Ahlul Bayt. For those who do not recognize our right. For those who do not have ma'rifah, who do not recognize our haqq, Allah will throw them in the hellfire upon their faces. There is one thing being in love with Ahlul Bayt, but knowing the haqq of Ahlul Bayt, having ma'rifah of Ahlul Bayt is another level. It is said in many of the ahadith that whenever you go to ziyarah of Ahlul Bayt, whenever you go for Karbala, Najaf, Qom, Mashhad, Sham, go to Ahlul Bayt knowing the haqq of Ahlul Bayt, knowing the right of Ahlul Bayt, having the ma'rifah of Ahlul Bayt, who they are and what rights they have upon us. And one right Ahlul Bayt have upon us is that before we enter the harams of Ahlul Bayt, we make astaghfar of our sins. We cleanse ourselves from our sins and then go for ziyarah. And Imam says those who do not know the right, the haqq of Ahlul Bayt, Allah will throw them in the hellfire upon their faces. Again, from the same book of Shaykh al-Sudduq. So here Imam is giving clear instructions. But then you have the second form of hujjah or authority, which is the fi'l of Imam, which is the action of the Imam. When Imam does something, either it becomes mustahab, wajib, or at least it becomes a sunnah of that Imam. For example, small examples. Imam Rida alayhi salatu was salam Imam Rida alayhi salatu was salam was never seen to extend his legs. If he had a guest coming to his house, he would never extend his legs in front of everyone. If he was sitting in the company of people, this was the custom of Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt would collect their legs. Why? Because it's the akhlaq of Al Muhammad. This is the akhlaq of Muhammad wa Al Muhammad, that they would never see it suitable extending the legs in front of other people. They would see this as disrespect. This becomes sunnah for us, that we are to implement that in our lives. It is not haram, but it is recommended, it's mustahab, we follow such action. For example, Rasulullah would recite Quran, he would stand and recite Quran. It becomes sunnah. The Holy Prophet would be the first one to say salam. People would try to say salam first to the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet would always be the first one to say salam, regardless young person or older person. He wouldn't wait that the young person should say salam to me first because I'm elder, or the older person should say salam to me first because I'm younger. The Holy Prophet was always the first one to say Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. This heavenly greeting. Even to children, sometimes people would hide and wait when Rasulullah would pass in the street, we would come out and say salam. But Rasulullah had ilmul ghaib. From his ilmul ghaib, he would say Assalamu alayk ya fulan. Because the Holy Prophet would know. These things become actions of Ahlul Bayt. That Ahlul Bayt did such things. And for us, these become sunnah that we should implement them in our lives. That if Ahlul Bayt did such and such things, we do such and such things. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. It is a custom that whenever we discuss sunnah, the first thing that comes to our mind is that we try to be like them, or if they did such and such thing, we try to imitate and copy that thing. When the Holy Prophet said that indeed Hussein is the lantern of guidance, the Holy Prophet did not specify an age. He didn't say when Hussein reaches the age of 40, he becomes the lantern of guidance. He didn't say when Hussein comes to Karbala, he becomes the lantern of guidance, Misbah al-Huda. He didn't say when Hussein becomes old and has a white beard, he becomes lantern of guidance. There is no age that is mentioned. And we find that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein was an imam even at the young age of 3 and 4. That an imam is an imam, regardless of his age. Imam Hussein at the young and tender age of 4, alongside his brother Al-Hassan, Imam Al-Hassan alayhi salam, both young boys and kids. Look at how they guide with their action. Look at this beautiful story. Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein are making wudu. They see an elderly gentleman come, making wudu, preparing for the salat in Medina. They see the old man is making wudu in the wrong way. In other words, there are certain mistakes in the wudu. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein and Imam Hassan alayhi salam are watching. But they do not go to him and correct him to his face. They do not confront him face to face. In other words, they come up with a clever plan. The plan is that they speak to each other and they make wudu for each other in front of the elderly gentleman, in front of this person who is an old man, so that he doesn't feel disrespected, so that he doesn't feel that at the old age he has been making wudu wrong for God knows how many years. Imam Hussein begins to make wudu, and then his brother Hassan is watching him and instructing him, "Oh Hussein, do wudu like this." Then Hussein finishes. Al-Hassan, Imam Al-Hassan alayhi salam begins to make wudu, and they make wudu in front of the old man, and the old man is watching. And once they make wudu, they ask each other, "Oh my brother Hussein, is my wudu correct?" Imam Hussein asks his brother Hassan, "Oh my brother Hassan, is my wudu correct?" At this moment the old man speaks up. He says to them, "O children of Rasulullah, your wudus, both of your wudus, ablution is correct. It is me who has been doing the wudu wrong for years. It is me that needs to change the sequence of wudu. SubhanAllah, look at how Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein guided at the young and tender age of 3 or 4. That the old man doesn't feel disrespected. That the old man doesn't feel that he has been told off by a young child. In al-Hussein Misbahul Huda, without any restriction on age. That even if Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is a young child, he will guide. He will guide the masses. He will guide the ummah at that young and tender age. And so this is how they taught such an elderly gentleman. And not only does this show that the respect of an elderly person is to be kept intact, but there is no compromise on the Sharia. That though he was an elderly gentleman, but still he was taught to change. Maybe he was doing that wudu for many years. But still, he was taught to change even at that old age. It is so that you can change, you can help. With respect, there is a way to do things. And Abu Abdullah al-Hussein taught us that way. And this is fi'l, that when an imam does something, he does it in front of you, it becomes hujjah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fi'l of the imam becomes hujjah from God. Because the imam is ma'soom min Allah. Allah has sent an imam who is ma'soom. Allah has sent an imam who is tayyib wa tahir, pure and purified. That he is never to make a mistake. If an imam was ghayr ma'soom, if an imam was non-infallible, then he himself would need guidance. He would himself need to go to another Misbahul Huda. But the fact that a ma'soom is Misbahul Huda means no one can guide him, but he guides everyone. No one can teach him, but he teaches everyone. No one can show him the sunnah of the Holy Prophet, but he will show the sunnah to everyone. This was Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Largely, such rawayat and narrations were ignored by the ummah. Though Imam Hussein deserved the minbar, though Imam Hussein deserved the pulpit, it was snatched and given to enemies of Ahlul Bayt. People who had hatred for Ahlul Bayt. Look at Abu Abdullah al-Hussein at that young age. But those enemies of Ahlul Bayt who took the minbar of Khilafah, who took onto the minbar of Rasulullah, that the minbar of the Holy Prophet is such that only the Holy Prophet will sit on it, or someone who is like the Holy Prophet, someone who is the nafs of the Holy Prophet can sit on it. This is the criteria of the minbar of the Holy Prophet. But yet, Imam Hussein was pushed aside. Imam al-Hassan was pushed aside. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib was pushed aside, and others sat on the minbar of Khilafah. It is said, once a man came to the Khulafa of that time, they said, we want to make wudu. Look at the difference between Imam Hussein and them. They said, this is second Khalifa. They say, oh Fulan, we want to make wudu, but we do not have water. I do not have access to water to make the ritual bathing, to clean myself, to make wudu. What is your answer? What is your fatwa? He says, if you do not have water, don't pray. In other words, leave salah. Ammar bin Yasir was standing nearby. Ammar bin Yasir, great companion, and a companion who after the Holy Prophet stood with Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. A companion who stood with Ali ibn Abi Talib at the time when everyone left Ali ibn Abi Talib. When Ali ibn Abi Talib was made to sit at home for 25 years. Ammar bin Yasir reminds him in front of everyone, do you not know there's a verse in the Quran that speaks about tayammum? Have you forgotten that when there is an emergency and you do not have access to water, you make tayammum? In other words, you use the dust, you use the sand, and you pray. Leaving a salah, skipping namaz is not an option. This is Ammar bin Yasir, who was guided by Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. Subhanallah, not only are Ahlul Bayt guides, in fact, those guided by Ahlul Bayt, the Sahaba, the true Jaleel al-Qadr Sahabi, like Ammar bin Yasir, are also guides. For they were guided by the ocean of knowledge, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib, who said, I was taught directly, in Nahjul Balagha, there's a khutbah. Imam Ali says, I was taught directly from Rasulullah. Rasulullah would feed me knowledge just like a sparrow, a bird, gives feed to its small child. This is how Rasulullah gave me knowledge. This is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salawat ala Muhammad. This is the action of the Imam. Like when an Imam does something, the fi'l of Imam is hujjah. The action of the Holy Imam becomes an authority. But then you have another type, which is the third type of hidayah, of hujjah, of tabligh, of guidance. What is that? Again, it comes from Ahlul Bayt. That is the silent approval. When something is being done in the presence of the Imam, if Imam Ma'asum is mawjood, if the Holy Prophet is mawjood, they are present, something is being done in front of them, whether it be good or bad. If the Imam remains silent, he agrees to it. But if it is bad, the Imam will rise and stop them. Amr bil Ma'ruf Nahy Anil Munkar is wajib on the Imams. That if something bad happens, they stop it. And if something good happens, either they do ta'eed of it, which is to emphasize on it, accept it, or they at least remain silent. It is agreed amongst the ulama that the silence of the Ahlul Bayt is their approval. If any time the Ahlul Bayt remains silent, it gives an approval. I give you an example. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, salawatullah wa salamu alayhi, was invited by Mansur al-Abbasi, Mansur al-Dawaniqi, Khalifa of Bani Abbas, killer of Imam al-Sadiq, la'natullah alayhi. This man invited Imam al-Sadiq. One of the army commanders of that time was giving a function. Allah had given him a son. He said, Allah has given me a son. He wants to give a function. He wants to invite people and give food. He says to Imam Sadiq, O son of the Holy Prophet, please come to my house and have some of the food. Imam says, I will come. Imam comes. Many people are there. Government officials, commanders of the armies, the elites of Bani Abbas are present. Imam Sadiq enters, and Imam Sadiq comes and sits on one corner. A table is laid out, food is put there, but Imam is just sat there for the moment. Mansur says, I will play a trick with the Imam. You know what the trick was? He says, I will bring alcohol, and I will put it on the table next to the Imam, to disrespect the Holy Imam. Imam is sitting there. Someone next to Imam asks for water. They bring water, but what they do is they change the water, the jug of water, with a jug of alcohol. And they are bringing it next to the Holy Imam. As the waiter, the servant, the slave who's bringing the jug of water, he is told, put the jug next to Ja'far al-Sadiq. Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq is sitting on that corner. The jug of alcohol comes and they place it right next to Imam Ja'far. As soon as the jug is put on the table, Imam rises. His Imam has ilm, imamat. Imam has knowledge given from Allah. Imam rises and he turns and walks out the door. They run after him, Yabna Rasulillah, Yabna Rasulillah. What is the matter? Why do you leave? Imam says, Nahnu Ahlul Bayt. We are Ahlul Bayt. You want me to sit on the table upon which alcohol is being served? We do not sit on the table upon which alcohol is being served. And then Imam says, La'anallah, curse of Allah be on those who sit on the same table upon which alcohol is being served. The hadith says, do not even sit on the table. Even if you're not drinking. You might say, my friend is drinking, I'm not drinking. Friends at university, colleagues at work. The hadith says that do not even sit, is haram to even sit on the same table upon which someone is drinking alcohol, even if you're not drinking. Why? Because when the azab of Allah, when the punishment of Allah will descend, it will take you with him. Imam says, we do not sit on such a table, and Allah's curse, la'na, be on those who sit on such. This is the Imam. That if the Imam had sat still, Imam would have been hujjah. Then we would have sat on the table of alcohol, because Imam sat. But as soon as the alcohol was brought, Imam stood. Not only did he stand, he cursed those who sit on the table of alcohol. There is no excuse on something like this. The riwayat, the hadiths are clear. The Holy Prophet said, Khamr, alcohol, al-khamr ummul fawahish wal-kabair. Alcohol is the mother of all fahsha, is the mother of all fitna, is the mother of all corruption and indecency. Alcohol is the mother of al-kabair, gunah kabira, the major sins. A heart is like a heart that has ridges. Someone who drinks alcohol, someone who has alcohol in him, the love of Ahlul Bayt cannot enter that heart. Iman cannot enter that heart. Why? Because the ridges is in that heart. Ahlul Bayt are away from ridges. Ahlul Bayt are purified. And hence this is the silent approval of the Imam. I'll give you one more example. The Holy Prophet comes to his daughter, Lady Fatima. He says, oh my daughter, it is the will of Allah that I marry you to my brother Ali ibn Abi Talib. What is your opinion? Rasulullah asked Lady Fatima, oh Fatima, what is your opinion with your marriage with my brother Ali ibn Abi Talib? Fatima al-Zahra remains silent. She doesn't say a word. But the Holy Prophet once asked, said, the silence of Fatima is the pleasure of Fatima. That Fatima being silent is approving of such a marriage. And for this reason the Holy Prophet said that, oh Fatima, if Ali had not been created, you would have not had a match. There would be no kuf for Fatima if Ali ibn Abi Talib was not created. And this silence of Fatima was hujjah, was an authority. And so, this type of silence becomes hujjah for us. That if an ma'soom remains silent, the Imam is silent, it shows that he is approving of such an act. And if they are not silent and they stand and protest, they make it haram for us. So these are teachings of Ahlul Bayt. These form hujjah for us. Everything that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein said, everything that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein did, everything that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein approved of is hujjah for us. This is Hussein Misbah al-Quda. Whatever he does is hujjah, is an authority. Whatever he says is hujjah, is an authority. Whatever he commands to do or whatever he approves of is authority. So if he says himself on the day of Ashura that I want one night, فَإِنِّي أَحِبُّ الصَّلَاةِ, that I love Salah. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein is not only saying that he loves Salah, that he loves namaz, he is saying and he is performing. Abu Abdullah performed the Salah, the prayers, to show them in action, bil-fi'l, and with words, bil-qawl, so that no one until the Day of Judgment could neglect such a thing. Brothers and sisters, tonight we remember two young flowers. These flowers belonged to Zainab. Zainab had given everything for the sake of her brother Aba Abdullah. Zainab had special attachment with Imam al-Hussein. That when she saw Hussein was all alone, and that no one was taking sides with Aba Abdullah, and the number of the enemies were increasing by the hour, she offers her sons as sacrifice. She offers Muhammad. And she says to her sons, "O sons, do not disappoint me on the night of Ashur, Shab Ashur." She says, "Tomorrow is the day of Ashura. Do not disappoint your mother Zainab. Do not disappoint me, for I am the sister of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein." Do you know what the sons reply? They say, "Oh Mother Zainab, do not worry. We are the grandchildren of Ja'far al-Tayyar. We are the sons of Abdullah bin Ja'far. We are the grandchildren of Ali ibn Abi Talib." They go to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein's tents and they begin to cry and beg for permission to go and fight. But Hussein is refusing. Hussein is not giving permission. He says, "How can I give you permissions, for you are the children of Abdullah. You are the imana of Zainab. How can I give you permission to go and fight? For tomorrow everything will be finished. Our heads will be cut and our hands will be severed." The children begin to cry. They say, "Oh Uncle Hussein, let us go and fight for your way. Let us go. We cannot stand to see you like this." They plead and plead. But Hussein does not give them permission until Zainab herself enters the camps of Hussein saying, "Akhi ya Hussein, oh brother Hussein, are you not happy with Zainab? Are you not happy that Zainab is offering her sons? Are my sons not worthy of sacrifice?" Imam Hussein cannot take them. Imam Hussein cannot accept that the children of Zainab will die. But eventually permission is granted. Own and Muhammad prepare for battle. They mount the horses and they take towards the battlefield and they say to the enemy, "This is our Uncle Hussein." They fight bravely. They show great bravery of Banu Hashim. They kill many of the enemies. But there comes a time that Muhammad is attacked from the back. Muhammad falls on the ground and he calls his brother. And then Own is attacked from the back. The enemies surround them from the left and the enemies surround them from the right. They attack them with swords and they attack them with spears. Those who have nothing attack them with stones. Zainab is not looking. Zainab is inside the camps. But Aba Abdullah al-Hussein is looking. As soon as they fall on the ground, they say, "Uncle Hussein, salams on you Hussein. Oh Uncle Hussein, adrikni ya Hussein." Imam Hussein runs towards Own and Muhammad. Imam Hussein brings them back to the tents. Brothers and sisters, this is the Masa'ib of Zainab. Do you know when Own and Muhammad were brought back to the camps? Zainab was nowhere to be seen. Every time Aba Abdullah would bring a body, every time Aba Abdullah would bring a shaheed, Zainab would be the first to come out. But this time, Zainab was nowhere to be seen. It is said when Ali Akbar fell from the horse, Zainab came out for the defense of Hussein, that Hussein would not bear the musibah of Ali Akbar. But it is said that for Own Muhammad, Zainab never came out. Zainab stayed inside the tent. She never shed a tear. She never cried. The only time she cried was for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. My brothers and sisters, there came a time when Bibi returns to Medina. When she enters the house of Abdullah, she enters the room of Awn and Muhammad. She looks to the left, she looks to the right. She sees the bed of Muhammad, she sees the bed of Awn, but there is no Awn and Muhammad. At this moment she realizes that her children are killed. She begins to cry. She says, "Oh, Awn, forgive me. Oh, Muhammad, forgive your mother Zainab." Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un.